my dear Leo. This is your love and spirituality reading for the month of September 2019 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. Today, from my perspective, we went into Virgo season. So remember to say happy birthday to all Virgos you know out there. I will do a shorter 10 card spread instead of the usual 15 card spread. And if you like it, I might continue doing my reading in this fashion. I do this reading in the order of birthdays, with start from Virgo. And in about 2 to 3 weeks time, I will take 2 days off work and do Libra season bonus love readings for the 8 signs that appreciate the general reading the most. So remember to hit that like button, and if you feel that you have the time, you can watch or click the ad, which financially frees up my time so I can do more of these readings for you. And as always, these readings apply to your sun, moon, and rising sign and Venus, Vedic or tropical. The reading can go both ways. The drama is the same, but it can be different castings to the different roles by the universe. And if you need more information after you have listened to this reading, you can turn to the bonus reading for Virgo season that is up, or a general reading for August, or the pick a card readings on the first page of my channel. Click my little Queen of Cups icon and then scroll down a little on the first channel page. There you will see different readings that can clarify your situation. You can also seek out a personal reading. Go to my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se. I have new VIP packages up for those of you that want to take a big jump in your personal and spiritual growth. And for this reading, I will use the 78 Tarot Mythical, the chart of Legendary. Sorry for it doesn't zoom. And it's a Global Art Collaboration Limited Edition. So, when I open this deck for you, I see you, Queen of Wands and 9 of Swords. So 9 of Swords, it's a situation where we feel hurt by our own thinking about ourselves, or it might be what other people are doing to you. We can feel very victimized. We can see the tears in her eyes here. 9 of Swords can also be self-isolation, because we don't want to be a victim. We don't want to be victimized from other people. Okay, so I call the divine with love and light. And here we have the 9 of Cups together with 9 of Swords. So I'm thinking you're going through a rather rough patch where you're trying to sort out what's making you happy and what's not making you happy, which means that you're currently isolating yourself to be able to determine what should be welcomed in your life and what shouldn't. And I'm thinking you're also working very hard with trying to see in what way you are creating your own life with good thoughts and good expectations, and bad thoughts and bad expectations. So I see I failed to keep the candle alive. I will fix that a little later on. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. And here we see the 10 of Wands with the 9 of Swords. So here we can see that you're really trying. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to behave in a certain way and maybe control like the bad thoughts that you have, or control the situations where people are acting malicious, and you might be trying very hard to keep a positive attitude even if people are at you like this. So it's kind of heroic, but probably not necessary. It's much better if you take the villain out in the open and show them to the whole village, okay? Or show them like a look in the mirror. You can have a mirror with you and show, okay, so this is how I see you act right now. So this is how I feel that you behave, okay? This is like how you sound like. Can we take this down a notch? Can we have a proper discussion? Because it seems a little bit like you're walking on eggshells. You don't want to have the whole house escalating in some fights. So you're trying to tiptoe like on eggshells a little bit. So maybe there's a person in your household or at the place where you work or somewhere which is acting up in some way. Okay, so this might be you, of course, as well. It's doing like this. So 6 elements. And here we have a 6 of Wands with the 9 of Swords. So it seems like this is a perfect time when you can put light on your fears. You can put light. I think people are behaving badly maybe in your surroundings, so you will call them out and like bravely show them a better way of doing things. So it's like you're being called to be some kind of leader in a situation. So whenever a person is acting maliciously a little bit, trying to manipulate or, you know, make you into a laughing stock or whatever, you drag this out in the light and you say, okay, so this is not okay for me. I want us to be able to have a proper discussion. What's going on with you here? And so on. So you don't conform to malicious behavior and think, okay, so that was a real bad encounter. We see you want to show your little face there. Okay, this was a bad encounter. Better keep myself away from this person. Yes, that can be an approach too. But with the 6 of Wands, it seems like you are asked to be kind of brave in this situation and take it out openly, like what you see, what you heard that person say. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. Maybe you kind of saw it much more malicious than what it actually is. So when we take up things for discussion, we might hear the truth instead of going around and thinking the worst, okay? So 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Leo viewers. So I want my dear Leos to have love in their lives. And when love jumped, we had the King of Swords. Also the Page of Pentacles in the bottom of the deck. This might be the people that's trying to help you to see things that you have kept covered up before. Maybe, for example, if someone is rude, you might have been, you know, trying to just jump over the thing the person just said and continue being nice. And sometimes it's because a person is actually a little bit unexperienced, so they can act rude of unexperienced, and sometimes they do this maliciously, like knowingly. The King of Swords is very clear-minded, very clear-headed. So either or, the person is doing like a mistake almost, or they do this deliberately. You can call it out. And I asked about love, and it came the King of Swords. So I think that you might currently attract people that's it's all about like a little bit mind games, like who is the most intelligent here, and maybe trying to pull your leg a little bit. So it's done there. So I will pause a little bit and fix your candle. So it had accidentally drowned itself, so I put another candle for you. Okay, so now we'll tune in here for a few seconds to you and the energy of September for you. So with the 9 of Swords, I think that it's people kind of annoying you. And maybe you want to be stoic or a little bit like the bigger person and not make a drama of everything. But I think you can be very adult in the situation and kind of tell the person what you see. Sometimes the person will annoy you maybe because they want to have your attention or, you know, love me, please love me. And then you say the loving things that you think they need to hear. Instead of just going and being irritated with a person, you can say, okay, yes, beautiful, you did that great. Even if it costs a little bit, you know. And if someone is, you know, insinuating that you have said or done something that was, you know, wrong or dismoral, you ask them about that too. So how did you mean? Can you explain this to me? Instead of just hiding away in shame you go out to the square and ask, okay, so what was up with this? What did you think here? What was going on? Okay, because I think you kind of, you get irritated, but you make excuses and you take the blame. That's what I'm feeling for some reason, okay? So this is the new bottom of the deck, and we have the Ace of Wands. So the energy of taking it out to the square, okay? Not being scared, not feeling shaken, not feeling like you are going to be exposed, but actually standing your ground and being sure about yourself, knowing that you have good motives, that things just needs to be sorted out, things just needs to be out in the air. So this is you being very brave, and almost it's like you're rolling the dice and doing something that before or still you might feel that it's a little bit precarious. Like, am I really going to, you know, take the bull by the horn here and look my mother in the eye, or talk with my boss about this? And you just do, because this sometimes comes, you know, like the devil on your shoulder. You just do things one day and just, you get tired of trying to tiptoe, and you just, okay, so this is what I see. And this is the old bottom of the deck, and it's the Five of Cups, and it's kind of what you're leaving behind. So instead of just being disappointed and wither away and, you know, okay, so one more person that think I'm a bad person, instead you're now taking the bull by the horn. So that's a better way, and it will give you more life force, you know, like this, instead of that sad posture of everything is destroyed. Okay, and this is the reading itself, or the layout of the cards, and this is your situation. This is what challenged you in this situation. This is how you deal with this challenge. This is your intuition, and this is how you follow the instructions or the clues you get from your intuition. And this is what to relax and accept. Things we can't do much about, and it's what it is, and we need to learn to accept things. And this is the next level. So when you have gone through all this with flying colors, this will be where we at. Okay, so this is the original reading. It calls the Lifting Bird, and it's not my invention. I got this knowledge of this like in the 1990s. And this is what I have added, like result cards, 3 cards for result, and it's like a mini lifting bird with just 3 cards to show what will be the next step, kind of. And together they make up a heart. Okay, so union, when you come into union more and more with yourself. So here we have your situation, and we have the Temperance. So it kind of goes very well with the Ace of Wands that we saw. You're taking in new part of yourself. People can't kidnap you anymore, like hold you down with guilt, for example, because you don't feel guilty. You just, okay, so you stand up for yourself. You believe in yourself. You know that you're not a bad person. You know that you're worthy of love. So when you are in a difficult situation, you stand tall. So it's like you're integrating new parts of yourself, that before you were the demon, you were the bad guy, you were the the one to blame, the black sheep or whatever, and now you just own it. So that's kind of beautiful, and it makes you very radiant and very attractive to be courageous like this, and to not shy away from difficult situation, but face it head on without wanting any kind of conflict, just wanting to sort it out. It kind of makes you into a person that's more alive, that's more, you know, not frozen, not with the Five of Cups just withering away, and okay, so yet another person that doesn't understand me, and walking away and being sad. Instead, you're owning your life, you're owning the situations, you're owning up to it, and you don't become intimidated. So good. And we have the owl here, so you're also very wise, and there's butterflies, transformation, and rainbows. That's the new beautiful radiant you when you integrate your 2 different sides. Some of you might also have met someone, because this is a very passionate card of like kind of love in first sight and things like this. And then we have the challenge, and with the 10 of Swords, it seems to be all the assumptions that you have made of yourself, and now it's time to make up the reckoning. So to see when then you will come into the same old situation that you have done before, but you will react to this in a different way. And if you don't, it kind of will be hell to pay, because it will be like this situation will increase and increase in volume. So like dang, 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 higher and higher, until you notice it and do this, facing up to this and talking things through and dragging things out in the open. So it's a very, very, very old assumption that you have made about yourself, and that you thought that maybe God made about you as well, and that people in your surrounding has picked up on and adapted to. So this is what they have mirrored back to you, that you are not a good person, you don't mean well, you're trying to lie, you're trying to destroy, you're trying to different things. And might also be other things like jealousy and people wanting to take control of you and things like this. But whatever is your pattern, your challenge is now to see it, because this is not necessary for you to keep anymore. You can look them through, all these different things, and wave bye-bye to them. Okay, so this is how you deal with this. And we have another 10 of swords. This is 10, it's the major arcana 10. So you're kind of aware that you are going in cycles, and that you are, it's like you get old lessons, like going back to school a little bit, and you know that, this is this old thing, I know this since before. Okay, so now the lessons is up again. This time I will ace it. So it would be kind of easy for you to go through this school here with flying colors, because you have done this so many times before. It's just do things in another way, more courageous, less feeling guilty or feeling like a victim, but actually owning up. If you feel like someone is rude, then you tell them, I think you are rude now. I think you are acting rude. This, what you're saying, is rude. So what's your point with saying this? What do you want? What do you need from me? How can I help you to sort out this? So you are own up to it. You are grown up. Wheel of Fortune. So it's like this with rolling the dice. The little Ace of Wands there as well. It's like you're more courageous. You are not scared of the consequences anymore. It seems like you have faced a lot of challenges. So maybe it's like, okay, what can you bring me now that I haven't seen before? So you will be able to take most of the crap, the shit storm coming your way. And with the intuition, we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is intuition. She is a hotline to God, kind of. And she has, she trusts herself, her own instinct. She knows that she is good. She had this little problem in her relationship to Adam, because this is Lilith, Adam's first wife. He didn't want to be equal with her. He wanted to have control over her, sit on top. She wanted to have more equalness. She wanted to sit on top in the lovemaking, and he said no. So she got really pissed, went to the desert to never come back. So she's kind of a little bit pig-headed. But this is how strong you are. If they don't want to meet you as the person you are, or as the soul you are, if they want to put you in a box somewhere and like this should be your behavior, you're not going to take it, okay? With these kind of cards, you're not going to take it. You're going to feel the hurt that they're trying to do this to you, but you rather spend time in the desert, like with the nines that we saw when I shuffled the cards, than staying another second in a situation where people doesn't honor and respect and love you. So it's kind of easy for you to put everything on a spot and take things out in the daylight, because you rather be without than to sacrifice or yourself or bend yourself over backwards to fit in a situation. That's what the High Priestess is telling me. Only certain chosen people will be able to come into your paradise here. So she's like the gate herself. So will they add up? And most people will, when you talk with them and you see through the misunderstandings, because many of these misunderstandings is your own. It's your own perception of you and your own assumption of what people mean and what they are implying to when they say certain things to you. So most people will add up, and they will be able to join you to the gate, and there will be freedom there because you will see to your own illusions. And this is how you react to your intuition. And we have a 9 of Swords here again. So 9 of Swords here again. I think I want to take an oracle card to understand this better, why you're tormenting yourself in this way. So my old reliable oracle of vision is always good for these little freak shows that we can sometimes see. Okay, so it seems to be the past that is haunting you, like how people have treated you in the past, how God treated you in the past, how your parents treated you, how your partners have treated you, how your kids treated you. It's something with this. It's like a sadness that, yeah, I'm on my own. I love myself. I can stand tall. But in the same time, you feel that no one else really knows you or really understands you. So I think I have a song for you. I'm hearing a song that's kind of classical. Sometimes it came a lot in my readings for maybe like 6 months ago or something. It's 6 a.m. Skin. So I think this is like a little mini reading for you. So check out the song. It will help you a lot to understand what this is all about. So you can recognize it in yourself and start digging, you know, start dealing with it before it shows its ugly face in your life. And when it does, you know, take the bull by the horn. Remember that. So this is what you need to relax and accept. And we have the Guardian. So it's like this card, much old things going to come up to surface, old situations you have been in, old use also from old lifetimes, people you have met in your life now and in lifetimes before. So it's just going to start to bubble up things to the surface that needs to be dealt with by this new, strong, courageous you. So you're not going to always feel strong and courageous. You're going to wonder, okay, so what's up with this? Why am I feeling so vulnerable? Why am I feeling so scared? Or why can't I keep my my battlefield cool here? So, and it's because things are coming up that is a little bit old, and it's when you are dealing with them, you are getting access to more parts of you, more parts that might be a little bit more sensitive and less cool, but it's still great. It's still you, and you need access to this. If you can't be, you know, vulnerable and you know, heartfelt, you can't really enjoy life to the fullest either, and be, you know, truly, genuinely happy. So this is a good thing, but it's bubbling up a lot of things. And you won't remember what it all is about. You're just going to feel funny feelings and remember strange things and dream about things. You might dream about things that is buried, and, you know, dream about maggots and mummies and graves and things like this. And it's because you are doing this excavation. We can say she's a little bit like a scientist. So we can say you're a little bit like an archaeologist, okay? Getting to know your past lives is what I'm seeing here with you. Perfectly enough, I have been putting up these VIP packages on my website, just dealing with these past lives thingies. And here they are bubbling up in your lives. So, and as the next level, we have the Queen of Pentacles. She has come a lot for a lot of the different signs. So showing this new self-love and how it has paid off in your life, making your life more abundant, more successful, more happy, more stable, more reliable friends, more reliable you, more beautiful inside, where you feel like everything is a summer's day and you feel safe and taken care of. And it's because you have done the cleaning work. So this is kind of wonderful. It gives a way that you might have success within your career, within your family relationships, your role as maybe a parent, your role as a stable, committed partner, and things like this. This is a Virgo, so it's very spiritual card, but it's also a very outgiving card, like a person that provides for both themselves and others. And it's very like this self-love thing. Nine of Swords is connected to Hermit. That's also Virgo, but this is a better side to it. But we have this little, for some of you, you will still have a behavior where you're kind of easily let other people victimize you. So that's the only thing you need to watch out for, really. In other case, you can welcome all this because it's not really things that is really dangerous. It's old energies that wants to be released, and some old energies that wants to be remembered and taken back. So problems that you have had reappearing in your life over and over and over again can be solved here. If you start to see this, like the patterns or the knives that you feel like people put them in your heart. But if you talk it through, if you like go to the bottom of things, you might see that things will sort itself out. And then when there's different part of you that's, as I said, they're a little bit fragile, and when they see you being strong like this and being able to take the bull by the horn, they are going to want to come back to you, and that will mean that you will have more of you, and you will have more talents, more ideas, more energy. And when you gravitate like this, when you are this kind of attractive, you will attract a lot of beautiful things into your life as well. So that's kind of gorgeous. Okay. So the next level is to be self-loving and successful. Okay. And this is your result. And here we have the bull I was talking about. And it's a crowd here with pitchforks and things, like a mob. So this is Leo in March. So showing you needing to be the warrior. So just because you become self-loving, it doesn't mean that all the problems goes away. You will still have to add up and show the divine that you mean business, that you have real boundaries for sure, and that you are going to protect your castle gate. So don't think for a moment to let yourself become codependent or to give up something, some part of yourself just because some other person said that this was not great. So not for a moment. You're going to stand on the barricades and be you, like out in the fingertips. So that's what I'm seeing. And it will cost you, but it will show yourself how strong you are. Okay. And the next card here, Four of Swords. Well, this thing where you have to over and over again prove your boundaries and that you are worthy and that you are allowed to be in society and you are a good person and you haven't done that bad thing that people thought you did, and all this suspicion and all these things will make you feel a little bit separated from people. Okay, you will still feel like you are separated from them, and they are a little bit against you, and they don't think good thoughts about you, and they have they misunderstand you, or they don't know you. Okay, they see things from the wrong perspective. So you will have this little bit feeling of being victimized, a little bit being martyr, being misunderstood. Okay, a lot of this is in your own head, but it's fine. Okay, let this thing play itself out and let yourself be a little bit disengaged. The important thing here is to take your side in this. Okay, I'm not saying to blindly just seeing your perspective, but be able to have self-respect, self-love, and know that if you had the best intentions, you meant well. If you know that you didn't have the best intention, you can admit to it also, because a big, strong person like this is able to admit to their flaws. It's no problem. You're still worth loving, even if you have made mistakes or make mistakes. So try to stand on your own side. You don't have to feel loved by each and every one just now, because you're going through the reckoning, like the old books and pages that have been written through your different lifetimes, and you see a lot of ugliness there, and this is where you are at. This is what you need to see right now to make up the reckoning with this, and like the closure, the conclusion. And this is going to, in the end, make you stronger, a little bit wiser, a little bit more logic, a little bit more upfront, a little bit more mature, having your back a little bit more, not serving your head on a plate to other people, basically. Okay. And the next card here is the Tower. So I'm going to have to take a card for that too. Tower often means healing, but it's like old structures that's falling away, and I want to know what that old structure is. Okay, so you are not going to be anyone's puppet doll anymore. So no one is going to be able to be a puppeteer over you anymore. So people won't be able with, you know, making you feel ashamed or like shameful, or oh yes, I should have been here earlier, or I should have done that when you couldn't. Okay. And here it's like this old structure is falling, and you won't care really for these social rules and structures that you have had in your life earlier and listened to very sharply, that has victimized you. And for some of you, it has been a lot of defense in this. Like you have shown up a facade that you didn't really care, about people not being at your side. But this time, I think you are going to take out the ugliness at the square, as I felt from the beginning. And if you feel like a person doesn't like you, for example, you might go up to them and say, okay, so it seems like we have found each other on the wrong foot. What is it that you don't like with me? And you just ask them up front. So it's old things from your childhood specifically that will start to fall. And it might be this with, you know, being on time with things, that if you are late, say that traffic is really bad and it's not an excuse, and you come all red in your face up to like the meeting, and you excuse yourself 100 times, and people look at you like you're a really bad person. Here you are going to, you know, own it and not give your power away. I think Leo have a little bit of a karma of being royalties, and after that happened, like some thousands of years ago, where you had the royalty over Earth and maybe did a lot of mistakes, and people have scrutinized you after that to see if you are a good person or not, or if you are going to go back to your dictatorship and your you being the puppeteer master, okay, like it was in the past. So you have proven yourself over the thousands of years, over and over and over and over and over again. And most of you that listening here are going to have, you have gone through this, you have learned all this, you have humbled yourself, but now it's time to take back a little bit of charge and not let people, you know, play on your old mistakes. So that's what I'm saying. And for other Leos, if you are cross-watching, what I can see for other Leos here is that there might be a heart opening, and these Leos can be very attracted to you, but they don't want to. So that's what I'm seeing mainly. And in the end, it seems like commitment and love and memories and, you know, nostalgia will win over this trying to be autonomous and not having anyone that rule over you. Because we have another part of Leo that will be like this. They won't subordinate themselves to other rulers, or really stubborn. And you can have a little both if you are Leo. Okay. So I'm going to take oracle cards for you. I hear another song here as well. I don't know what it is, but I'm trying to get to it. I'm seeing the video, but it doesn't really help. And here came 2 cards for you. Competition and children. And children came in reversed. So I think that you are not going to act like a subordinate child anymore. Those of you, Leo, that have this, you have said 1,000 million times that you're sorry for the thing that you did back, like, I don't know how many eons ago. And now you won't act like this, child that had done bad and needs to pay, show humbleness. So instead we have this competition, and it goes very well with the Seven of Wands. So for some of you, it might also, I see that most of you needs to stand on the barricades and say, no, I'm not going to agree with this. I'm not going to wear the dog head anymore and act like everything is my fault. I'm not going to own up to that anymore. So everyone will need to have to take their fair share. And for other of you, it's actually to admit to guilt and say, okay, so it was my fault. For those of you that know you have big problems with saying I'm sorry, it's time to start to say that you're sorry. Okay. So children, know that your children are protected. All parents' first and foremost responsibility is to keep their children safe from harm. Listen to this as I am reading about your inner child. Okay, so your biggest responsibility is to keep your inner child safe from harm. The angels want to reassure you that all is well. Your children is in heaven and on earth are loved and protected by God and the angels. Your children function at their best when they are loved, cherished, and feel secure within their home and family environment. My children are happy and safe. And I think you have given out your inner child to the wolves a little bit because of this, with you wearing the dog head and being like the one that's shameful or wrong. So for some reason you have this pattern inside of you, probably because of this old karma I told you. That's not a way to protect your inner child, to feed yourself to the wolves. Okay, so from now on, when people are acting unfair towards you, you are going to address it. Okay, competition. So you're not going to just bend and show your throat as soon as there's a conflict. So that's what I'm seeing. Summon courage and self-confidence. Draw upon your self-belief and mental stamina. Assert yourself and go after what you want. You need to maintain your position in work, business, sport, or study. Accept that there are challenges ahead as you strive against others who ultimately want the same recognition as you. You may feel that you are struggling to keep your head above water to the opposition gain around you, but you are encouraged to defend your position without compromise or negotiation. You need to find the courage, persistence, and determination that will ultimately lead you to victory. Mantra: I have the competitive edge to overcome my opponents. So, and your competitive edge is that you will not back down for truth. So you will drag it out on the square, even if it's awkward and painful, and you don't want to you don't want to be dramatic, but instead of silently suffering unfair behavior, you are going to address it. So that's what you're going to do. And this is an old thing with you, that you are carrying around this, with letting people treat you unfair just because it's like you have done something to deserve it somewhere, sometime you don't even remember anymore. Okay. So my dear Leos, I hope this helped. I will come back with the next general reading for October in the middle of September. I will also do a love bonus reading for Libra season in about 2 to 3 weeks time. And the 8 signs that shows most appreciation for these general readings will have a reading by then. So thank you so much for watching, and take really good care about yourself now, and don't sell yourself off. Don't give your inner child to the wolves, and I will be happy. I will see it in the cards if you do. Okay, take care, and bye-bye.